Okay, game two here. And Tomb jumps out to me right away. So Tomb is a landmark that gives you one victory point every time a card of yours is trashed. Unfortunately, the board has a lot of trashing on it. Probably half the cards trash. Altar, Trader, Junk Dealer, Hermit, Butcher, Chapel. So that's more than half. So you have to keep that in mind. Another thing you do have to keep in mind is Aqueduct, which transfers victory points from silvers and gold, the silver and gold pile onto the Aqueduct. And when you buy a victory card, you get the victory points from the Aqueduct. So, what do I want my deck to look like here? I'm not really sure, but I want it to have butchers in it. That's really the only prerequisite for my deck. Maybe a village, couple butchers, big treasures, silver, gold. If I could construct a deck like that, I'd be pretty happy. So as for the opening, Chapel seems clear enough, especially with Tomb around, you get rewarded for playing your Chapel. Well, even more so than being thin and reaping those rewards. And I'm going to open with the Hermit. I quite like Hermit, especially here. Again, it trashes and it could also get Madman, which is quite nice. My opponent goes for the Silver and he gets his reward for the Silver. He's able to pick up the Butcher there, which I believe is the key card on the board here. Altar is something to consider as well, and that'll come into play a little bit later. So I'm just gonna trash all these coppers away. Not the most exciting, right? I would have liked to be able to trash at least an estate there, but instead I have to get rid of all coppers. But I'm not too worried about that really, mostly because I have this Hermit, which I will convert into a Madman here. What it means is that the Chapel will, I'll get my deck to a point where I want it to be. The Chapel won't be in an uncomfortable or an unhappy position where I have to chop coppers where I don't want to. So yeah, I'm gonna convert there because there's nothing really exciting to buy for $2 there. I'm not keen on a Duchess or an estate for a point of the Aqueduct at all. So my opponent now picks up a Hermit off their Butcher and a Village as well. And here, yeah, I'm gonna trigger the Madman. Even though I'm not gonna draw like a full 4 cards with it, I am still going to trigger it. Use the Hermit here to gain a couple silvers, I believe. Well, gain 1 silver and I'm gonna buy another silver. There's some thought to keeping this estate in my deck just so the Hermit could get it, but I mean I still get the same point if I trash it with the Chapel, right? The same tomb point. So yes, a couple silvers for me. I did think about Village here, but I don't think I need it because I don't think I'm gonna be playing Chapel that much more, if at all. And in fact here I paused for quite some time thinking about what to do. There are a couple different options here. Chapel 1 copper buy silver, play Hermit, gain silver, convert to Madman, or gain silver, buy Village, play Hermit, trash Chapel, and then buy Village or buy silver. So yeah, a lot of options here, but in the end what I decided was to get rid of the Chapel because I still don't have a Butcher yet. That's why I put those 2 silvers into my deck last turn, because I was trying to, you know, boost my economy to the point where I could get to 5, but unfortunately I drew only $4. I would have really liked to pick up a Butcher at this point in the game. And so my play here is to get rid of the Chapel, gain a silver, and I'm gonna take an estate to take 4 points of the Aqueduct. Now, I don't know about taking the estate to take 4 points of the Aqueduct, but 4 points is kind of a lot of points, because my other option was to take a silver there, which would have put 5 points on the Aqueduct, which is nearly a province, and I didn't really feel like just laying up a province almost for my opponent. In fact, he could have probably made it 6 points by playing his Hermit, gaining a silver, and then using his Butcher here just to convert something up into an estate, this Chapel for example. So not sure if it was right there to take those points off, but I ended up going for it. I do have the hermit to clear off that estate at some point, so I'm not so worried about it. 6 here is the altar, like I mentioned. So there was the decision between the altar and the butcher, and I picked up the altar. I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know if I have time. I think I do have some time for the altar, because my hope is to I can use the altar on some of these remaining coppers and gain butchers off of them, or junk dealers, or cartographers, or something nice. Duchies at the end, perhaps. In the meantime, my opponent has his deck quite under control. Um, he has a couple villages and a couple terminals in the Hermit and the Butcher, so he looks to be in a very, very good position here. He's managed to trim down his deck very well. I I'm not sure if I've not been able to, or if I've just made different decisions, which didn't put me in the same position as him. And he actually makes what I find a little bit strange. He picks up a vault, and then picks up the estate to take, what, a point or two off the aqueduct. I mean, he could afford to do that with the estate at this point, given the slimness of his deck. He could afford to do that. But the vault is really the surprising thing for me. I don't think you could get that much value out of the vault here, because his deck is so thin. You know, and he doesn't have that much capability to draw back whatever he discards from the vault. But he did pick it up, and he's using here his hermit, and he's going to use his butcher, of course, to get a couple points every turn from the what's this called? The tomb, right? So there, his hermit got rid of the estate, and his butcher cut something into a silver. He plays his vault, and I'm going to make use of the vault ability. So this is another reason not to get vault. So this is a mediocre hand for me here, but what the vault allows me to do is to improve that significantly by showing me a butcher. I would have drawn into the butcher anyway of the village, but you'll see actually what the village draws soon. It draws into my hermit. So now I have a lot of options here. But first, my opponent actually goes here for another vault, I believe. So he changed something, I believe it was his chapel, into a village, and he's going for another vault here. Really, I think he should be picking up butchers. If you could play with 2 or 3 butchers, you're golden in this kind of game here, because you could just chop and change things at will. Butcher is so flexible, so nice. So here you see my hermit, as I spoke about, and the play here for me is to pick up a madman. I'm going to say no, I do not want any more hermits, and choose to take a silver instead of regaining the hermit. And I am going to play my butcher, trash the altar into another altar just for the point. I can't really play the altar. So yeah, the vault allowed me to draw into the hermit, and allowed me to pick up a madman. So I do have a couple coin tokens on the mat there. On the mat, yeah, wherever that is called. So I have a couple coin tokens there. My opponent has none, which is good to note. So I have a slight advantage there. And with that madman, I am going to pick up a second butcher quite soon. Especially seeing as how I know it's in the back now. I have all my action cards in the back. The madman is there, the altar, the butcher, and the village. So definitely picking up a second butcher on my next turn. This turn is going to be a province. Actually, for me, it's time to start going for these points. We've been going back and forth with the tomb points. We are roughly equal on that front. He does that trick again of taking the points of the aqueduct via gaining an estate from the hermit, and comes up with enough money here for a gold. So the gold is nice with the butcher around, because you could chop and change it. Really, I still think you want a second butcher in that deck. So he has just the one coin token now. I preserve my 2 there and pick up the estate. So now we are into the greening part of the game, right? So my opponent's deck is a little bit thinner than mine, but he does have 1 less butcher, and he doesn't have an altar, whereas I do have the altar. So we'll see how we could negotiate this end game here. So he ends up buying a province here. He gets rid of his estate, and he picks up, what, a village is probably the safest thing, although he could get another silver. and I believe he plays his butcher to do something. I don't know, you'll see soon enough. Right, he trashes silver into probably silver, because he has enough money here with the vault combined to go for his province. So on my turn, there is some thought about not triggering the madman, but I think I have to because I want to keep up with my opponent in the province race. So picking up the second butcher here, I think that's critical. It took me so long to get to my second butcher though. Like, I think that's very bad. Turn 11, and that is when I pick up my second butcher. I think that is um, bad of me. I shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but I did. I did have that turn where I had 6 and I went for the altar, but anyways. My opponent got his butcher on turn 3, and he had so many opportunities to pick up another one, and I only just found an opportunity to pick up mine here, so I think that's bad. I think I want those butchers in as soon as possible. Cut copper into copper here just for the point, and 4 coin tokens on the mat now. 4 coin tokens on the mat, and the more coin tokens I have is the more I could threaten things with butcher. So here, my opponent still has a good turn. The vault allows me to draw into my butcher here, getting rid of a province and a copper. So I'm pretty happy to get rid of those and see my butcher instead. And my opponent here goes for the double province play. So the gold gets cut into province, and he has enough money to pick up another province. So there are 3 provinces left in the pile at the end of his turn. So now here comes an exercise for you here. You've seen the situation and you will see the entire story after I play this village. What is the line of play that gives me the best chance of winning? You could pause the video and see if you could find it. I didn't find it in the game, but I know what it is now, of course, and I realized it as soon as I took my turn and I was waiting on my opponent. So the line of play here is the only way I'm going to win is if my opponent stalls. That means he has no villages in his hand, he just has the vault or something. No villages, no draw. He can't have village vault. He'll win on double province. So I have to try to set myself up to end the game on the following turn. So this part is correct, I believe. You trash this altar into a province, but this part is not correct from me here. What I should have done and what is pick up a duchy instead of going for the province here. So going for the province means that even on a stall turn with just the vault, he could probably draw into enough money to buy the province and win. Alternatively, there's butcher tricks. Maybe he could butcher a vault up into the province and win. I'm not supposed to take a second province. I'm supposed to take a duchy there, leave my coin tokens because I should know that this is the hand that I will draw. I would be able to cut province into province and still have exactly enough coin tokens to pick up the last province, and that would give me the win. Alright, thanks for watching. See you.